Hojalo, monkey. I have to fix something here. La verdad tenemos que borrar tu canal, yo creo. Twitch settings I don't have enabled. Okay. The stream current bitrate is lower than it should be. Recommended that you use a stream bitrate of 2500. Well, that's what I tried changing it to. But anyhow, it looks like I'm on there. Okay, so come on out and join me today. I will start reading the book that I have been reading. I haven't been on YouTube, putting any uploads on YouTube for a variety of reasons. First, I got extremely busy going back to work and homeschooling again. And then with all this COPPA and FTC going on, I just wasn't sure whether it was worth it to upload any more videos. But I'm going to continue. I'm also thinking about revamping things and focusing, narrowing down my niche a little bit. So that's something that you will also see in the future. If allowed, I will continue doing my vlogs, but we will see what else I will do. I'm just debating a few different things, looking at a few different options that I think are going to be good. So anyhow, feel free to join me tonight, and I am going to continue reading from Make Today Count. I'm just taking a break right now from doing my book work, and when I'm done here, I'm going to go back and do some more book work tonight. So I just thought I might as well visit with anybody wanting to visit tonight before I do that while I'm on my break. So we were on the chapter called, what chapter are we on? Number 5, Thinking. So now we're on the section called Capture Your Thoughts. If you don't write down your ideas, there is a great danger you will lose them. In Bird by Bird, Anne Lamott explains how she keeps from losing her best ideas. I have index cards and pens all over the house, and I think I've already read this before. Oh well, I'll continue reading it, because maybe you haven't heard it before. I have index cards and pens all over the house. By the bed, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, by the phones, and I have in the glove compartment of my car. I carry one with me in my back pocket when I take my dog for a walk. I used to think that if something was important enough, I'd remember it until I got home, where I could simply write it down in my notebook. But then I wouldn't. Writing down your ideas right away is not cheating. It doesn't say anything about your character. Apart from maybe that you're wise to do that. I always write down my ideas. When I'm in my thinking spot, I use a legal pad. The rest of the day, I keep a small leather-bound notebook with me. I even have something to write with next to my bed at night, a small pad with a light attached that illuminates when you remove the pen. That way I can write a note while still in bed without disturbing Margaret by turning on a light. Have a system and use it. Put your thoughts into action quickly. When you have a great idea, don't do anything with it. Okay, let me try that again. When you have a great idea, but don't do anything with it, then you don't reap the advantage it brings. Dave Goetz, founder of CustomZines.com, says, "For me, I'm so tired. I have to get that out of my head though that I'm tired because I still have work to do. Anyhow, for me, when an idea hits me, it strikes fire, almost like God speaking. I know that sounds heretical, but there it is. The more time that passes after the idea strikes, the less heat it gives off. I forget parts of it. It doesn't seem as great. Ideas have a short half-life. Have you ever had an idea for a product or service and a few months or years later seen someone else with the same idea take it to market? Yes, quite often. My husband has that happen to him. Author Alfred Montapert said, "Every time a person puts an idea across, he finds 10 people who thought about it before he did. But they only thought about it. Ideas put into action give an advantage." Try to improve your thinking every day. It's true that the more thinking you do, the better you become at it. But you can quickly improve your thinking if you do the following on a daily basis. Focus on the positive. Thinking alone won't guarantee success. You need to think about the right things. Negative thinking and worry actually hinder the thinking process rather than improve it. Very true. If I'm in a negative mindset, my mind feels foggy. I don't think straight. But when I'm in a positive mindset, I can definitely think a lot more clearly. My mind's not in a fog and I understand things better. And remember things better. I believe in this so wholeheartedly that the first book I wrote was a collection of short, uplifting, and instructive chapters. I called it Think on These Things, based on a Bible passage that always inspired me. Whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, and if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Focus on the positive, and your thinking will move in a positive direction. Gather good input. I've always been a collector of ideas. I do a lot of reading, and I continually file the ideas and quotations I find. I found that the more good ideas I'm exposed to, the more my thinking improves. Spend time with good thinkers. If you were to interview a group of top executives in any profession, you would find that well over half had the benefit of being mentored at some time in their careers. And I believe that the greatest benefit anyone receives in that kind of relationship is learning how the mentor thinks. If you spend time with good thinkers, you will find that the exposure sharpens your thinking. I believe that many people take thinking for granted. They see it as a natural function of life. But the truth is that intentional thinking isn't commonplace. What you do every day in the area of thinking really matters because it sets the stage for all your actions, and it will bring you either adversity or advantage. Your thinking decision today. Where do you stand when it comes to thinking today? Ask yourself these 3 questions. Have I already made the decision to practice and develop good thinking daily? If so, when did I make that decision? What exactly did I decide? Your thinking discipline every day. Based on the decision you made concerning thinking, what is the one discipline you must practice today and every day in order to be successful? Well, I think even if nobody joins me tonight for my live stream, I'm going to continue doing it anyhow. Hi, How to Garden, how are you? Nice to see you tonight. Chapter 6 is commitment. I really enjoyed, oh good, I really enjoyed that video that you did with the biocarb. Is it called biocarb? It's really interesting. While I wait for you to respond and interact, sometimes my live stream is a little laggy, so I will read and then I will interact with you. Chapter 6 is about commitment, so making today count. We read the thinking chapter, now we're going to do commitment. I don't think I really understood the true value of commitment until 1976. I was the senior pastor of one of the fastest growing churches in Ohio, and the success we were seeing necessitated a $1 million expansion of our facilities. But there was a problem. I was only 29 years old, and I had never led a major building program. Frankly, the task seemed impossible. But at the same time, the future of the church absolutely depended on its success. Biochar, right. Oh no, I'm on a phone as well, so I've been told by a few other people that, and my connection isn't the best. Yeah, I've been told by quite a few people that my phone lags quite a bit on my live stream, but in time, eventually I'll possibly do computer, but probably not for a few months. And my connection just continues fluctuating up and down, so it's not your phone, I don't think. But at the same time, the future of the church absolutely depended on its success. That's when I made a life decision concerning commitment. If something is worth doing, I will commit myself to carrying it through. Yeah, that's one thing I wouldn't be able to make here because I'm in the city. So unless I made a small amount of it. But I'm hoping this spring to be able to do a little bit more gardening, but more flowers for now to start. And maybe some plants in the house. So I will definitely be looking at your videos to learn more because I'm not the best at gardening or taking care of plants. I did it one time in my life, but things got busy and hectic, so I wasn't able to continue. I decided that come what might, I would lead my congregation through the building program. Little did I realize how much that commitment would be tested. Each time we made a decision, more problems arose. So what do you think of all this COPPA stuff? Have you looked into it? Oh, you're in the city as well? Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do. But not until the spring, because it's very cold here right now. I guess you probably don't have to worry too much about COPPA, as yours is more of a gardening show, and younger kids wouldn't probably be interested in that, so that's a good thing. But I have to revamp my channels and see what I can do. Once I learn more what's going on, then I can see what we're gonna do with our channel. So are you located in the States? Time out. Yeah, I've got a playlist made dedicated just to that. A bunch of videos of different people who actually know more about it. I guess I could say they know more about it in Florida. Nice. So you can probably plant year round, hey? Yeah, I think hopefully after December 10th we'll be able to know a little bit more about what's going on with this COPPA thing. I'm in Saskatchewan, Canada, so I won't, and it's timing out again. What the heck? So planting this time of the year outside isn't possible. But I think I'm going to eventually invest in some plants for inside of the house, because I do miss that. Huh. Well, I'm having trouble with my stream. It's timing out and it's not connecting properly. Poor connection. Florida gardening is not people that are somewhere like summer kills everything. So you're saying that the summer kills everything, or the people aren't good at gardening? So a few of the problems that are listed here that he's talking about in building the church that they were building. To accommodate growth, I needed to improve my staff. That meant terminating some people who were very popular. Ooh. Ah, yes. Yeah, I had become very poor at taking care of my plants in the house. So my family had refused to buy me plants for presents. but I'm going to try again and see if I can manage to keep them alive now. More than 200 people in the church, nearly 15%, left the church because they did not agree with the vision. Our bank agreed to lend us the money only if we first raised $300,000 from among the congregation, but I had never led a large financial campaign, and the most I had ever raised for a project was $25,000. The church board's decision not to give the bid for the building contract to a member of our congregation who owned a construction company caused him to leave the church, and he had been the church's most generous giver. Our architect was careless with disbursements to contractors, which made the project cost over $125,000 more than it should have. Wow. Crazy. You've heard the old saying that motion causes friction. During the entire process, there was enough friction to cause a 5-alarm fire. I felt like I was in the hot seat every day. If I hadn't made the commitment early in the process, I never would have made it through. Making the decision to make and keep proper commitments daily. If you desire to have greater tenacity to accomplish the things you desire, then make the decision to embrace commitment wholeheartedly in your life. Begin by doing the following. Count the cost. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at with YouTube. Yeah, nature can be pretty harsh on plants, can't it? Here in Saskatchewan, it's the cold, the snow, the frost. Yeah, I'm learning little by little on YouTube how to make, when we subscribe to somebody's channel, how to make our subscription stick. And that it's good to be watching each other's videos to help each other grow. But now with all this COPPA stuff going on, FTC, and not 100% sure what's going on, but I'm going to try to stick it out. Maybe I'll do a live stream once a week or something, just to keep my channel active. I don't think I'm going to have time to make videos or anything. Isn't that the way it is? Yeah. The Lord definitely talks to us in the most random ways. That is for sure. Goes on to say count the cost. So we're making a commitment, we have to count the cost beforehand so that we're able to stick with it. Okay, I'll keep going. So count the cost. After the Nazis drove the British Army from the European continent at Dunkirk and obtained France's surrender in June 1940, the Germans were certain that victory in Europe was at hand and that Great Britain would seek a peace agreement. France also believed that was true. French General Maxime Weygand told Charles de Gaulle, who was a colonel at the time, "When I've been beaten here, England won't wait a week before negotiating with the rake." No, I'm trying not to, but I think I do need to revamp some of my videos, or the channel. Just in the process so that I'm able to grow a little bit more, but we'll see what happens. I still want to do my family vlog, but I don't know. We'll have to see what the future holds. But the Germans and the French underestimated the commitment of Winston Churchill, who had become England's Prime Minister in May, and of the British people. Churchill knew what was at stake in the conflict, as evidenced by his remarks at the time. What General Reagan called the Battle of France is over. I expect that the Battle of Britain is about to begin. Upon this battle depends the survival of Christian civilization. Upon it depends our British life. Hitler knows that he will have to break us in this island or lose the war. If we can stand up to him, all Europe may be free. But if we fail, then the whole world, including the United States, including all that we have known and cared for, will sink into the abyss of a new dark age. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duties, and so bear ourselves that, if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour. The war that England fought was long and bloody. They suffered terrible bombing from the Nazis, and for a long time they stood alone. But they stood. Their commitment was unwavering. And because they stood, the Allies won the war. I believe their resolve was strong, not only because they knew what was at stake, but also because they had a sense of what price they were being asked to pay. It can be very difficult to stand by a commitment naively made. The commitment becomes much stronger when you have already counted the cost, determined to pay the price. Once you count the cost, then you have to decide whether you are really willing to do what it takes to follow through. U.S. Senator Sam Nunn said, "You have to pay the price. You will find that everything in life exacts a price, and you will have to decide whether the price is worth the prize." When I went off to college, I was determined to stay committed and focused on preparing for the ministry. But I knew there would be a price. Many of my college friends got married while still in school, and some even had children. Margaret and I waited, despite our shared desire to begin our married life. It was a difficult journey, and to this day I don't recommend engagements as long as ours. But our commitment paid off. A few weeks after we graduated, we got married, and we waited several years before having children. As a result, I was prepared when I entered the ministry, and I could focus on establishing my career during those important early years. Always strive for excellence. Howard W. Newton said, "People forget how fast you did a job, but they remember how well you did it." Few things fire up a person's commitment like dedication to excellence. The desire for excellence carried Michelangelo through the completion of his work on the Sistine Chapel. Excellence drove Edison to keep trying until he figured out how to take a light bulb that worked. Excellence drives the companies Jim Collins wrote about in Built to the Last and Good to Great. Anyone who desires to achieve and become successful must be like a fine craftsman, committed to excellence. A great craftsman wants you to inspect his work, to look closely at its finest details. In contrast, sloppy people hide their work, and if anyone finds fault with it, Shoddy workers find fault with their tools. Which are you most like? Excellent means doing your very best in everything in every way. That kind of commitment will take you where half-hearted people will never go. Managing the commitment of discipline. After I made the decision to commit myself to the building program at my church, I knew that I would need to find a way to keep myself on track. So I determined to live out this discipline. Every day I will renew my commitment and think about the benefits that come from it. To do that, I carried a laminated card with me every day for 18 months. Here's what was written on it. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no man could have dreamed would come his way. William H. Murray. I read that card every day as we were going through the project, on especially difficult days when I felt like throwing in the towel. I read it 2 or 3 times. It helped me to stay focused and feel encouraged. I thought if I stay committed and do all I can, and then I ask God to make up the difference, we can achieve this. And we did. Okay. Sounds good. I read that card every day. Hello, welcome back. I read that card every day as we were going through the project, on especially difficult days when I felt like throwing in the towel. I read it 2 or 3 times. It helped me to stay focused and feel encouraged. I thought if I stay committed and do all I can, and then I ask God to make up the difference, we can achieve this. And we did. When you accomplish something that you once believed was impossible, it makes you a new person. It changes the way you see yourself and the world. My thinking went to a new level, and the vision for my leadership expanded. I never would have gotten there without commitment. My personal commitment, and that of many others, was the key to our success. As you strive to keep your commitments daily, keep the following in mind. Expect commitment to be a struggle. When our children were young and living at home, Margaret and I decided one summer we wanted to take them on a vacation that focused on how the United States was built as a nation. We started out in New York City. We went to Ellis Island, the longtime gateway into the country, and got a feel for the millions of immigrants who came to America with a dream of building a better life. We visited Philadelphia. We saw the room where our country became a nation with the signing of the Declaration of Independence. We viewed the Liberty Bell, and we visited the graves of the brave men who signed the Declaration of Independence. After that, we traveled south to Williamsburg, Virginia, the home of Patrick Henry, who declared, "Give me liberty or give me death." And we ended the trip in Washington, D.C. As we looked up at the towering Washington Monument, we were reminded of the United States struggle to become a nation. As we gazed at the huge statue of Lincoln at his memorial, we recalled the struggle we have endured to remain a nation. Everywhere we went, we were confronted with the commitment of the men and women who founded and preserved our country. We learned about the risks they took, the battles they fought, the sacrifices they made. The greatest honors were reserved for those who endured the greatest struggles. The stakes were high, but so were the rewards. We still enjoy the freedom they won for us. That trip taught a great lesson to our family. Anything worth having is going to be a struggle. Commitment doesn't come easy, but when you're fighting for something you believe in, the struggle is worth it. Don't rely on talent alone. If you want to reach your potential, you need to add a strong work ethic to your talent. Poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow shared much insight when he wrote, "The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night." If you want something out of your day, you must put something in it. Your talent is what God put in before you were born. Your skills are what you put in every day. Commitment is what you must put in today in order to make today your masterpiece and make tomorrow your success. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, How to Garden. This is just going to be a short live stream just to get back into things and give me a break from doing my books. I'm not sure. Right now I'm just going to do spontaneous live streams, so if somebody happens to catch me, they catch me. If not, they'll have to catch another one. So, but hopefully, once again, I had started getting a few more people on my live streams when I was doing them more regularly, but I don't do them as often, so hopefully we'll get a few more next time, but if not, it's fine as well. I really appreciate you coming out and enjoyed your video, and I will continue watching your videos as well. So, I'm not sure if you're there. Oh, it's timed out again. Yeah, eventually I'll get a better way to do my live streaming, but hello animal world. How are you doing? Have you made any more videos? I haven't been on YouTube very much until today for a few weeks. And I am just saying goodnight because I have to go do some paperwork. But I appreciate you coming out, Animal World, and How to Garden. You're doing good? Good to hear. How's your channel doing? You have? Well, I'll check them out in the next few days. I'll check out your videos. I'm going to have to say goodnight for now, Animal World. I don't know if I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow or Sunday or Monday night, but once in a while I'll do some spontaneous ones, maybe on some breaks from my paperwork that I'm busy doing, trying to do some catch up here. But I thank you guys for joining me, Animal World and How to Garden. For those watching, and if you would like to check out Animal World and How to Garden, they're very good channels. Subscribe to them, and I'll put their links in the bottom of this video as well so that you can find them a little easier. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.